And now, just to get you in the mood, here's In the Mood.
I lived in Chicago, and I was about 17. I was 17 at the time. That's true. And there was a theater, amateur theater, right about 3 doors away from me. So I used to go there quite often. And Sunday, especially Sunday for matinee, we could go out for Sunday. So I came home to the theater. What movie I was watching, I don't remember what it was. But my brother was there, and my brother lived home with us. He was married or nothing. And the radio was on, and there's something about Pearl Harbor.
Nice block there by Lehman. Cup still going. He's up to the 25, and now he's hit and hit hard about the 27-yard line. Bruiser Kennard made the tackle. We interrupt this broadcast and bring you this important bulletin from the United Press. Flash, Washington. The White House announces Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. And
I thought, oh man! In school, at high school, I had taken history class, contemporary history class, and we spoke about Japan now before, and I thought it was just a little. I thought it was supposed to be just a little tiny country, about the size of one of our small states. So I thought, well, Japan is at war with us? Oh, that's ridiculous. How I know that somebody's pulling my leg or something. Japan is just a little country. He can't have war with us. And little did I know, it wasn't so little. It was pretty big. It took over a lot. So that's when I first heard about it. So then the Roosevelt talk that night, and it was all this. At the time, I didn't realize this is history. So, oh, okay. So that's where I first heard about Pearl Harbor.
Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, I'm going reveille. He's the boogie bugle boy of Company B.
It comes the end of the year now. I don't know if it was November or what, it was before Christmas. I got a notice. I was the first one of all of us guys to get the notice. And that I'm getting drafted. My neighbors and my friends, whoever it is, I wish I'd kept that. It told me they selected me, so I'm drafted. And I'm supposed to leave in January the 15th. And then I went for tests, went downtown to check your physical and all that. Then to give me the physical, it was very embarrassing, You're stripped and you're naked. No, I was never done that in my life before. Okay, well, the physical is over, and then I was supposed to leave on the 15th, but they gave me a week to straighten out everything with my affairs and that, so I left on the 22nd.
We all have been selected. Lots of questions, they jabbed us in the arm. We stood there at attention, our faces turning red. The sergeant looked us over, and this is what he said.
This is the Army, Mr. Jones.
First we came to Camp Grant, and we had the barracks there, and they weren't so, they were big. We all piled, in there. The first night, I remember I had to go to sleep, and this is in January. It was very, very cold out. So when they got us up in the morning, they woke you up, and about 5:30 in the morning, I suppose. And they're yelling, and screaming, what's going on? Oh man, what a way to wake us up, So I got up and stood by the boat bunks. Then they pulled us outside, and oh, this is cold out here, We're all out there. I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden I heard the president and all accounted for, something like, whatever you're saying, Then he sent us back in. I still looked, and I went, what's going on? And then the next day they take us, and we went to the chow to get food, you know. Oh, those are nice. It was nice doing that. But as we went from the barracks to where we were walking, where we were going, all the guys that were there said, "You'll be sorry." They're all yelling, "You'll be sorry." Sorry for what? I don't know. They was just it's something you were just saying. I don't think they knew any more than we did, but they'll tell you very honest, "We'll be sorry." Like you do when you go to high school, you're a freshman, the kids will taunt you, with their teeth, you know. And then we got on that, like I said, and then we got on that train. We didn't know where. And so we got off the train, and it was Camp Polk, Deep Texas, in El Paso. We unloaded, and we piled out, and we assigned certain cabins. So there was 4 other guys besides me. We got in this cabin, and we're sitting there looking at each other. We didn't know any of them. We didn't know each other. But we were all from Chicago, so that was okay. Then we introduced ourselves, who we were. Then we wondered, well, what's next now? What are we going to do now? This is the first day we're in camp, and we're soldiers now, you know. We got our uniform and all that. And then, then they started with the training.
Over hill, over dale, we have hit the dusty trail, and those caissons go rolling along. Counter march, right.
They're teaching us how to march and drill and all that. And that only lasted a couple of weeks. Then they started sending us out on the desert in New Mexico, maybe an hour drive or something like that, in the trucks. We had to go in the trucks. We go out there. Yeah, but what happened there, we didn't come back and forth. We stayed out there in the desert. And they had tents, big perambulating tents. Well, the reason we were out there, they were training on our guns. They trained us on our guns, on our 40 millimeter guns.
A convoy of anti-aircraft units rumbles across America's great western desert. And from out of the sagebrush and cactus, camouflage guns are revealed ready to shoot. Rangefinders, sound detectors spring into action. A part of the nation's long chain of coastal defense, they're always on the alert. Now, guns ready, they practice on a target towed by a plane.
So we shoot at these targets. These guys, they were flying a plane or dragging them things, and they were worried because sometimes, you know, these guys, we weren't that good because we were just rookies. And I don't know, I think they took a chance. It was a long target way out there, but still, you know, to try and hit the target. I remember our colonel had a southern accent. We used to, you know, imitate him all the time. What would he say? Over, all the time. We shot over, okay? And then you always yelling, over, you know, we were over the target. And we weren't hitting the target, but we were around the target anyway. Then finally, after a while, then we were out there. Then I don't know if we'd come back or not. If it was for, I don't know why we even come back to our Camp Polk again. So mostly they kept us out there the whole couple of months. And finally, when we did get back to the huts again, it was time to leave. They had trained us enough so we're going to leave and go to somewhere else. So again, now we got on a train and we went to San Francisco. So we boarded this troop ship. It was formerly a luxury liner. They stripped it all out, you know. But you think you would be there in a day or so? We were there about almost a week on that ship. It took us that long to get across to Australia. We had to go all the way to Australia. So, and from Australia, we got a ship and we went to New Guinea. Well, we went there for one purpose, was to have join an invasion, we're going to land somewhere. They didn't tell us this, so we're going to land somewhere. Then finally we boarded the ships again, except this time it was LSTs. So we're going to land in some part of New Guinea. We're going to take some part of New Guinea. And we're still fighting. New Guinea was still half taken. We hadn't taken all of New Guinea yet. And where it was, at that time, MacArthur and them, it was one of the biggest invasions, landings that they got together, the most ships and men. It was really big. They're going to go to a teepee.
Our next objective, Itapi, 300 miles west of Sador. We landed April 22nd. The Japs had expected us at Wewak, massed their 18th Army there, 40 to 50,000 strong.
The assault begins at night with a terrific naval barrage. Advanced landing barges speed to shore under cover of fire. Giant land-based bombers support the American attack. Enemy positions and installations along the entire coast are blasted again and again. General MacArthur personally directing the assault. A daring thrust 500 miles beyond the most advanced point previously occupied by Allied forces driving down the New Guinea coast.
Where we were going to go was a real strong Jap stronghold. What they did this time, though, they didn't hit it direct on. They went on both sides of it. And Tapian, and there's another town there. And so we went. So the landing wasn't too bad because we hit on both sides. Otherwise, you used to hit the side there, and you get murdered, slaughtered, just trying to get off the ships to get on land. This time, we landed, no problem, went right in there. Anyway, here's our LSTs. These are the ships we took all our invasions on one of these LSTs. And Anime's father was a sailor on one of these LSTs, and in the Pacific. I could have been on one of it that he was on. I don't know, but. Her father was 40 years old, and he had 3 daughters, teenagers, and they drafted him. I couldn't believe that. These are the big doors that open up, and they go on close to the land as they can, and they drive the big trucks and tanks, everything would come off of there. So we had bulldozers too. Bulldozer would be towing our gun, and our truck, or a truck would follow him anyway. He would be pulling our gun, and he could. The bulldozers dropped the blade down in his jungle. He just made his own path, just pushed everything down and made his own path going. Then he would get to where he's supposed to be for a gun position. He'd just drop it and get back on, dig out a little shallow hole for us, and we'd go in there. And then we went on this invasion. We went to Morotai. It was the Dutch East Indies. It's called the Dutch East Indies. There was a number of islands there. It was owned by the Dutch. And all this time, though, they gave us money. At that time, they gave us Dutch money. Why they gave us money? There was nothing but jungle. There was no cities or anything else, but they did give us money. And Dutch East Indies, too, they give us money. For what? I don't know. So I had all this kind of money, but I sent it all home. Then I was like, I can't use the money. There was nothing to use it for. But, they paid us in cash. Really did. I think it's kind of peculiar. Anyhow. But you know how much we got? It was $50 a month. That's all we got. So, yeah.
Troops board an LCI for the attack on Morotai Island, northernmost of the Halmahera Group. U.S. and Australian warships support the operations. The first wave of assault forces moves shoreward on 15th September. Initial landings are made at 0830 hours. The American troops are virtually unopposed. Deep water and a rocky bottom make successive waves of landings difficult for men. Elsewhere, there's considerable mud which bogs down vehicles. However, in less than an hour, 2 beachheads are established. This latest leap in the island-hopping campaign advances our forward lines about 300 miles in the direction of the Philippines. So we landed there, and there we stayed, 6 months or 8 months or so. But in Morotai, the Japs would bomb us every night. Every night we were up. Every night we didn't get much sleep. Every night we had to go out there. We call it red alert, Jap airplanes around. So we were out there every night. It was
We had a nice gun, but so we stayed there a long time. Weeks later, no, this plane came stuck in it. We had the red alert. We were running out to get to our positions, to our gun, and we were all sleeping. We all piled out, you know. The gun section next to us, though, right behind us. See, we were right on the beach. They were right on the jungle, and they even had a platform going up. So I mean, like for a lookout, you know. But they were right on the edge of the jungle, and we were on a beach. So then I heard them drop. Well, I was on a gun. I heard them drop the bombs. I thought, oh man. And after they hit, we got information that they get the bomb. They hit the gun section. The guys were still in their tent. They hadn't even got out of the cot yet to get up. That's how surprised they were. They killed them right in. They killed them, most of them in there. A couple got out. One guy was at the tower now. He's climbing up to go to the tower or whatever it was, and he got hit. And I think the whole crew got wiped out. Of course, the next night now, we didn't sleep in our cots, and we slept outside in the gun with the gun. No, it didn't scare us that much. I don't think we slept inside. We slept outside in our gun section. Then from there we went to the Philippine Islands. Now we didn't know we were going there. They never know where you were going, but you put our LSDs in that. So we landed there then. But that was pretty quiet there on the island of Mindanao. That was a big island. Our assignment then, the Jap planes were gone, and there were no more Jap planes. So they really didn't need us for our artillery, so they made us, I don't know if you call it military police or whatever you want to. It was, well, we were infantry anyway. We weren't going to, we lost our gun. The only gun we kept was our machine gun, our multi-machine gun. We kept that. I guess you could use that for jungle fighting and that, you know. So then we settled down there, and then they sent us part of our battalion anyway, on a road. It was a road in Mindanao. It was a real winding road. And we were supposed to guard a bridge at night, because at night the Japs would come and they burn bridges down, you know, so for transportation. So we were sent out there to guard this bridge on this road. And then and we had some infantry joined us later on. They were under the bridge, and we were on top of the bridge. There was going to be a hill there, so we were camped there. Of course, we had no problem there. So, but I got a kick out of it. These infantry guys, they camped underneath the bridge, and at night they take hand grenades. They put them in a bush or a tree or something like that. So if a Jap was coming crawling through there, you'd rattle that, it'd go off. So every so often at night, you heard grenades going off. Oh no, what happened now? Did it just fall off, or did somebody knock it off? But we thought, let's take a look around here and find out what's nearby us. I don't even know. It could be somebody could be next to it. I don't. So we took a walk. It wasn't far, maybe a half a mile or so. There had been Japanese quarters. You know, they were camped near the road even, and because it was all dismantled, it was all broken, busted up. They cleaned it out, and there was a dead Jap laying there. I'm thinking about that now. Well, that guy wasn't dead very long, because he wasn't, you know. But all shuffled papers, stuff, you know, was the headquarters or whatever it was. And he was laying there, and I thought, oh, we just walked around him and didn't pay no attention to him. Well, we found a Japanese flag, a silk flag, a beautiful silk flag, and and I found a negative laying down there. I took it up and I got it developed. And that's what was on there. Some Japanese officers were on it. And then we went back to our gun, you know, our quarters there. And the next day we decided, let's go look again. Maybe we can find something. We didn't really find anything. But we went back there again. He's gone. The Jap wasn't there. Uh-oh. Somebody else is here. We're lonely now. There's nobody going down our road because there's nothing there. You know, no guys went by, and none of our guys picked them up. So I thought, let's get out of here. There's somebody around here, maybe. So finally, then we got information that the war was over. Oh, we dropped the bomb in Japan. And you know, we just took it, the war is over. So you think we'd be excited. I know back home here, they were celebrating it. But we just took it nonchalantly. Well, the war's over.
In every town and hamlet across the nation, the story was the same. Chicago heard the news, and a hurricane of unrestrained hilarity blew through the Windy City. This was how San Francisco greeted the news. The city by the Golden Gate engulfed in a tide of joy and relief. Here, America's major port of embarkation to the war in the Pacific, the Japanese surrender brought jubilation unrestrained.
Then finally, they never tell you nothing, but then they finally, a week, a couple of weeks, whatever it is, we didn't have much to do, just sit and wait. But then a truck came along, and a convoy, of course, they picked us up, took our equipment and all that, then we took us. After we landed at San Francisco, we just got off the ship, and then it was all no excitement or nothing. Everything done. We boarded a train and we shipped to Chicago. And we got to Chicago. We disembarked, and then in Chicago, and then we took a cab. The guys around our neighborhood, we took a cab home. And each guy was dropped off. I don't know, 3 or 4 of us. And I was the last one dropped off. And I didn't know how much to give the cab, whatever I owed. I didn't care. I just gave them the money that was on the meter, whatever it was. And I was home. I went upstairs, and my mother was there.
Battleship Missouri, 53,000-ton flagship of Admiral Halsey's Third Fleet, becomes the scene of an unforgettable ceremony marking the complete and formal surrender of Japan. Swarms of United States aircraft fly in formation overhead as the ceremony ends. The final United Nations victory has been won. The war is over. Peace is here.
Not so long ago, we sailed to meet the foe and thought our fighting days were done. We thought 'twas over then, but now we're in again.